Foodservice Power Plant Network. Yo, friends, it is so great to be with you in what is my favorite hour of the week, generally speaking. Thanks for joining us in the Foodservice Power Plant Network. Tonight we have an awesome conversation with a gentleman that you all know who's been a friend of mine since I met Bryan, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, back when I was repping Cardinal, and he was there, and he's had so many cool things happen in his career and life. He's now doing unbelievably big and cool things at the Oneida Hospitality Group. So many people have joined the Power Plant Group tonight just to see Bryan share his story and us wrap around a little bit. A couple of things for you to give you a few tips before we go bring Bryan on. Number one, if you have a notepad and a pen, I would totally encourage you to go grab that. Bryan has so much life experience, industry experience. He is a leader of leaders in my experience, having worked with him. He's gonna be dropping some nuggets and bombs tonight that you're gonna write down. There are gonna be things in his story and wisdom that he drops probably without even knowing it that you're gonna need, that's gonna relate to you. There are gonna be moments where you say, oh my gosh, Bryan overcame that, I can do this. So grab a pen and a notepad, take some notes, put it in your journal, wherever you keep this stuff. To maybe you wake up tomorrow morning, the first thing you do is you look at some nuggets of wisdom from Bryan O'Rourke to change your day, to affect your life in a positive way. That's number one. Number two, you are welcome to say, what's up, Bryan? You're welcome to ask questions of Bryan. All you do, I'm going to pull him up just like this when you ask a question. Love to have you ask questions. He's game. Bryan's an open book. I'm an open book. You can ask questions of me. Whatever you got, we'll have a blast. Number three, if you want us to see that you're commenting, go to StreamYard/Facebook. Type in your name. That way, when we bring you up, we'll be able to see that it's you. Otherwise, I'm going to go in the group right now, and I am going to find Bryan and I live, and then I'll be able to see who's asking questions. So we welcome those, and get ready for an epic hour. Let's go find the man, the myth, Bryan O'Rourke. What's up, brother?
What's up, Jason? How are you?
Man, I am so good. I am even better. Gosh, I haven't seen you or talked to you face to face in, I don't know, 2 years, probably a show that we were at.
Probably. Yeah, it's been an interesting 2 years. Absolutely. Has been an interesting 2 years. Looking forward to coming down to NAFM in a couple of weeks. I think this is going to definitely open up a lot of people's eyes and spirits, and it's something that we definitely need. And also to embrace what's going on in our industry. So I'm looking forward to seeing you down there.
Man, I can't wait to. There are moments in my life when you have, without knowing, stepped in to play a role and provided moments that my wife and I haven't forgotten. And I think you're used to being generous to people, kind to people, just moments of thought or whatever it is. But it's important for us to realize that those moments that my wife and I still hold on to things. Who's this? This is on. Someone's in the house. I'm going to go in, find it. Clifford Whitman. Good to see you, Bryan. Hey, Clifford.
Hey, Cliff. How you doing?
That is so awesome. There were multiple times, Bryan, in my life. I remember one time I was going through something personally. I was having a tough time. I live outside of Boulder. And you remembered that I was from Philly. And you sent me to my office a note, a handwritten note, and a box of, you remember what you sent?
Tasty cakes.
Tasty cakes.
I remember you coming into New Jersey. We had that ride down to Millville, and we were talking about tasty cakes. And what do I walk into? I walk into a convenience store, and I see the tasty cakes, and I said, I got to get these for Jason.
It was so awesome. I was like, this package arrives, and I'm like, Bryan O'Rourke remembers that I like tasty cakes and I'm from Philly and I can't get them out here. That was one moment that it just showed and kind of an uncanny amount of listening on your part. And then the other for us that she and I both remember was, she had her heart attacks and you had reached out and just said, oh man, sending love to Shannon and you and your family. And then I feel like every 18 months or so, I get a random text from you. Yeah. And it just says, Jason, I'm sitting in a church. I'm praying for you and your beautiful family. I want you to know I got you. And in those moments, Bryan, I don't see him coming. You never know what it doesn't happen. That doesn't happen very often. And you go out of your way for these moments. So let me start. And I know that I'm not alone in the industry as being the only one with these kind of stories. So let me just start by saying thank you for who you are in my life, who you are in a lot of people's lives. And tonight's going to be a blast.
Thank you.
You got it. Josh Callahan is in the house. Yo, Josh.
What's up, Josh?
Robert Thompson. What's up? Is that Bob Thompson?
Bobby Thompson.
Bobby Thompson. You know what? Let's start here because I asked the group, does anyone have any questions for Bryan O'Rourke? And Bobby Thompson asked this question. What do you think of Bobby T's hot sauce?
Actually, I'm a huge fan of it. I've been a huge fan of it from the beginning. I bought a bunch of it for our customers. I just started sending it out to customers. I put it in our restaurant. I send it to my kids in Arizona and New York. It's actually good stuff. It's very, very good stuff.
That is
great
so
on pizza, great on eggs. And then Bob's like, you can put it on pasta. I don't put it on pasta. I mean, I couldn't put it on pasta. That's sacrilegious. But you put it on pizza, no problem. You put it on the eggs. You put it on everything. And then you wound up, like a couple hours later, you're like, man, I need some more of that stuff for some reason. So he definitely has a winner there.
That is so good. Way to go, Bobby, to create something and, something you love, you're passionate about. I remember hearing your story. Who's this? This is Brian Wood. Great to see you, Brian. Haven't seen you in about 3 years. Looking good.
Thank you, Brian.
Gosh, I love this. Oh, look at this guy. This is Mr. Danny Monet is in the house saying Brian is one of the good guys.
Oh, my God. Big rig.
Oh, my gosh. Morris is in the house. What's up? Friggin' love it.
What's up, Morris?
Brian, you are the CEO and president of the Oneida Hospitality Group. Not a lot of people know your story, your career legacy, and even before, like how you got into the industry. Do you mind kind of sharing with our group just your story, your professional story?
Sure. I started out on Wall Street. I started out as on Salomon Brothers as a runner. I was the youngest, even to this day. I mean, you can even fact check it. I was the youngest to ever work on Wall Street.
Whoa! How old were you then?
16 years old. Oh my God. And I was a runner for a guy by the name who ran Salomon Brothers by the name of John Goodfriend, Lou Ranieri, and they just embraced me and embraced everything I was doing, and it was a great, unbelievable journey. I watched the ups, I watched the downs, I watched some great progression, and then I watched some of the worst mistakes in the world. It was one of the greatest moments of my life, and I was incredibly lucky to get that job from my guidance counselor in my high school. My guidance counselor was the one that actually led me to Salomon Brothers, and very, very fortunate guy. I went to an all-boys Catholic school, and he just took I was under his wing, and just led me into doing something that he knew I would be able to, really progress in and work hard in. And, I got to meet so many great people. And then after Salomon Brothers, I wanted to be closer to my older brother, Bobby. My brother, Bobby, was starting a business down in Washington, D.C. with his college friend. And I always wanted to be close to him. I have an older sister, Susan, who lives here in Jersey, and then my brother Bobby lives down in Virginia, and then I have another brother, Timmy, who lives here in Jersey as well. And my brother Bobby and I were always very close, so I wanted to move closer to him down in D.C. Because I just enjoyed going down there to the University of Maryland football games and just watching that whole environment, and I wanted to help him and support him in his business. So I got to move down to Washington, D.C., and I worked at Intercontinental Hotels. Never knew anything about food and beverage or any of that, and I got involved in the Intercontinental Hotel, the Willard, right across the street from the White House.
Wow! And
I got to know guys like Neil Perry from Adams Birch and Stephanie Otis from Edward Don, and Neil Perry took me under his wing, introduced me to Dan Blaylock, and we just had such a great brotherhood, Neil and I, and we did a lot of things together with capital investments, And then he led me as an introduction to Richard Raphael. He's like, get out of the food and beverage business. You know, you work too hard, you work too long. I'm going to introduce you to Richard Raphael from Cardinal.
Oh.
And Richard embraced me as a son. I mean, it was one of the, you ask about moments of people that really touch your entire life. I mean, Richard just what he did for me in my whole entire career. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, he taught me the business from operations to manufacturing to sales and marketing, and to understand that you just don't sell a product, you have to be the product. And passion to move a business along. And he was an incredible mentor. Neil Perry was an incredible mentor. You know, you look at these guys because they're hard-driven guys that always knew one thing: go out there and make the sale and make things happen and make it rain. You never had time to be a farmer. You always had to be a hunter. So we really, I mean, where I am today, I owe it to a number of different people, but Richard's up there. Believe it or not, my ex-wife, Tracy, who I'm very, very close to this day. I mean, she always pushed me and, you know, just kept me on track and kept my head on my shoulders. So I definitely enjoyed my time with Richard. And then when the transfer of power went from independent Cardinal to ARC, that was a whole new mecca. There was a guy by the name of Oliver Hassler who ran ARC International. He's now chairman of a huge Taiwanese company. And, you know, I just had so many great people. And when I left Cardinal in 2018, it was bittersweet because they went through a transformation with a private equity group, and the private equity group was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. And that private equity group was fantastic. People really did a lot of great things for the group. But my time was I already had almost 30 years in the business there. So then I had a fantastic opportunity come along with a friend of mine, John Miles, at Steelite. And it was a 6-month agreement. I stayed on for 8 months. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The people, you know what makes a company is the people. And the people at Steelite, sensational. Absolutely sensational. I have a great respect and admiration for what John has built, and the people that are behind it. All his support staff, top notch. That was a very, very tough and difficult conversation to have when I was talking to John, and I said, "Hey, listen, this opportunity came up in the private equity side. Let's talk about it." And I said, you know, I know it's a competitor, but here's an opportunity for me to get myself into something that is totally broken. And John, being a great brother, is like, why would you want to do that? And why would you want to do that? And I said, because it scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me, and that's what I want. And he was great. He was very, very supportive. I remember driving home on Route 80 back to New York, and he called me. He goes, "Are you sure?" He goes, "I'll support you, but are you really sure you want to do that? You know the long history behind it." And I said, "You know what? I do." I said, "I'll call you when I get home." And I did, and I called him. I said, "Yeah." I said, "It scares the hell out of me, but I want to do it because I know I can put every ounce of my energy into this." And he supported it. He supported it, and it. You know, I'm 1 year, 10 months into it, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. Every day scares the hell out of me. We've done a lot of great things thus far. I have a great team, incredible team. I brought over a couple of amazing people like Laura Bellino, Dave Algore, John Schroeder. You know, I can name them all. Just fantastic people that have the same passion I have. And, you know, I have a great private equity group that's willing to invest. They're not going to throw good money at a bad situation. So they rely on me to make those decisions.
Yeah.
But I have to unravel. I have to unravel the last 10 years of decision making on other people's behalf and see what's right and what's wrong. And oh, by the way, we have COVID that hit us. And oh, by the way, now we have a transportation issue. And oh, by the way, you know, you have, you know, whatever the world else is bringing you. I mean, we have those situations. And I wouldn't change it, Jason. I really wouldn't change it. So I brought you up from the start of 16 years old to the 50s.
I love it, Bryan. I love hearing your story, and I love hearing about conversations with friends where you knew you're getting into a challenge, and you know, which is, we can also just say as an opportunity. And people are like, "You sure you want to do this? I care about you. I got your back if you're going to do it." And that there's something in you that says, "Here's another opportunity to do something really cool, to give." I think you said, "Pour all my energy into this." And you know, it's hard not to be on your team, I would think, and be inspired by that. And you know, the guy leading the charge at this company is giving everything he has. You know what? I can give almost everything I have to follow him and be on the field with him. Who's this? This is, let's see here. Your team is Kurt Borwick. Kurt Borwick, your team is amazing, Bryan. I love being able to work and support you guys. That's awesome. Hey, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt. Kurt's
Rick
with
Palmer.
Former SS Kemp, Adams Birch. Adams Birch.
Got it. Awesome. Glad you're here, Kurt. This is Rick Palmer. It's like a new lease on life. Enjoy what you do and find the passion again. Been there, still there. Awesome, Rick. You're right, man. Who is this? Bryan, are you a karaoke guy?
Oh, God.
Michael Callahan. This is Michael Callahan. Is that right?
We all enjoy it. We have, oh my gosh, we have a singer on our team, Dave Algore. Dave Algore is one incredible entertainer, singer. And we've had some incredible journeys along the way at dinners, and it doesn't matter. It could be improv, it could be in an airport, just to bring people together. And I'll tell you a quick story. This weekend, Dave invited me down with a couple of his college buddies, and they're great, amazing guys, successful guys. We were down in Atlantic City, and we were talking about karma. And the one guy, Bob, his son had a bunch of guys down at a casino during 4th of July, and they were packing up. They were throwing everything into, they're leaving the casino on, I guess, the Tuesday morning. They were throwing everything in, and when they got back, they were unloading it, and they realized that they took a speaker by accident. It was the casino's speaker. So Bob called up the casino right away, and the casino's, bring it back the next time you come down. And Bob actually taught a lesson to his kids. You know, it was a total mistake. I mean, it wasn't something that Bob or his kids needed or the kid wanted. So it was just an honest mistake. So we got up on Sunday morning. We were going over to the casino, and I don't know if it was Al Gore or Bob saying, you know, this is karma, you know, returning, because I taught my kids a lesson about, you know, you don't take what doesn't belong to you, and they had no intention of doing that. But more importantly, you know, he returned the speaker. The guy, the manager there was like, what? Why wouldn't you, you know? And it was just an amazing time. That night, Saturday night, Bob got involved in a blackjack tournament at the casino. There was six of us there watching and cheering him on. He won the whole thing. Oh my God. He won the whole thing. Talk about karma. That's karma. We go downstairs, and we're all in, and you know how people are at the casino. They're so involved in and we're not gamblers, but they're so involved in what they're doing right there and then. Yep. Yep. And Al Gore started to sing Country Road from John Denver. I kid you not, Jason. 60 to maybe 80 people stopped and just began to sing in on a casino floor, Now you talk about karma and good vibe. That's what you surround yourself with in life. And I was so thankful because I've had an opportunity to go down there a few times with Bob, and most generous guy and just so loving. But you have life lessons along the way. Yeah. And when we watched an environment that was so closed in on what they were doing, and you opened it up with just a song, that's what Dave Algor brings.
Holy cow, man.
So that's karaoke.
Well, what a way to bring people together. There's something fun about song, the power of song music. And if someone's willing to go all out and do it, I mean, Al Gore on a casino floor, you're all in if that's what you're busting out with. And to see 60 to 80 people do that. I mean, I've read these studies in the past about why like choirs are so powerful. When you get whether it's a holiday song that everyone sings together, the power of these tones happening together and what it does to the energy in a room or in a group of people, and to be able to lead that and create that, what a really neat experience.
We had a great experience in New York at Peter Luger's with Tim Irie and Heather Irie a couple of years ago at Peter Luger's. Peter Luger's is a steakhouse and it's only steak, and no, you can't really have fun in there. It's just all about the food. And we got in there one night and we started singing "God Bless America," and oh my God, we had the whole entire restaurant going. We had Germans singing "God Bless America." That's how funny it was.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is our friend Elise Wilson. Elise with Bar.
Oh my God, I was just talking about it.
How about that? Bryan never chooses the easy road. Always picks the challenge. Never settle. Love you, Bryan. You rock. Oh, so great.
God, Elise, I love you. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.
I love it. Are you? Well, maybe I'll see you, Bryan. I'm going to be up there in a couple weeks. Okay, who's this? This is. I bet everyone. I bet everyone watching this is smiling. Love the energy. Laura Bellino, you are right. I don't know. I can't hold it back. I can't not smile right now. This is so great. Who is this? Oh, Brian Wood. Great story, Bryan. I'm so privileged to be a small participant.
Oh my God. Bryan, you are a big partner in everything I do with Oneida. He is my backbone. He is my confidant. He is the glue to a lot of things that we do. And I just have some great admiration for Bryan, personally and professionally. I mean, a couple of years ago, when before Bryan took on the Rabco, he had a stroke, and you look at situations like that, and it knocks people down. I mean, it just puts it just sidetracks you. Yeah, that stroke made Bryan more invigorating to everything he does anymore. I mean, it's the amount of energy he has and how he overcame everything. And I know it's a struggle every day for him, but he doesn't show that at all. I mean, he is an unbelievable human being. He is you always talk about perseverance, or you see it on a lunchroom wall posted up there by an HR professional. He's the definition of perseverance, because he's done it all up in Canada and here in the States. And then next thing you know, he buys a company, he has a stroke. He and his son are running the company. Doesn't let him stop it. It doesn't stop him.
Yep. He is
love for Bryan.
It's not what you're handed. It's the story you tell yourself about what you're handed, right? And
so
that man has found a way to tell himself stories that keep him moving forward and generating energy as opposed to taking energy. Bryan, you are awesome. Okay. Are you a person that sets goals? Bryan, you've accomplished a lot. You've had a lot of great leadership positions, both, in Wall Street and in our industry. Do you set goals? Are there things that you say, you know what, at the end of the year, I want to accomplish this? Do you write them down? Are you that kind of a person?
No.
Okay.
I'm a milestone type guy. I like to hit milestones. My first milestone was to be a CEO by the age of 34, 35. And I was able to accomplish that at ARC. And I was very proud of that. Now I hit milestones. I'm not a guy that's going to, on December 31st, write out a set of goals for the year.
Yeah.
Because I know they're going to change. I know that they're going to change. So I just hit milestones. And I try to do that in my weekly assessment of my plan. And I want to enjoy life. I am happy. I want to enjoy life. I want to bring people with me. I want, so to set goals and know that they're going to change every so often, to set more goals, I like to just hit milestones. And that's really what I'm about.
I love it. Have you always had that? I mean, you seem like someone who's driven. You had a goal to be a CEO at 34. Was it 34, 35, whatever you said?
Same. Yeah.
Have you always been wired that way? I want to do big things. Did you see someone do that and say, man, I want to set big milestones in my life?
No, I didn't see an individual do the same thing.
Yeah.
I just knew I wanted certain things in life. Do I want $100 million? That's not it. That's not who I am. I mean, do I want to be happy when I'm 55? Do I want to be happy when I'm 56 and 57 and 83 and 85? Absolutely. So those are the things that I look forward to. Do I want to have great friends in my life? Absolutely. Do I want to be the CEO of a bigger company? No. But if an opportunity comes up and it's the right opportunity for me and how I'm feeling at that moment, and I check the boxes, then I go for it. But I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, because then that changes who I am.
Sure. What is it? So you've taken on a really cool challenge at Oneida Hospitality Group. You brought together a bunch of well-known brands under one roof. What's the greatest opportunity there right now for you all?
The greatest opportunity is reintroducing an iconic brand. You look at Oneida, and there's been some great leaders from the start at Oneida. Guys like Alan Consor, Pete Cowlett. Those are the guys that really put the companies in the company in the marketplace. We have a company called Update that's sensational. Focus Foods. Keith Jaffe. I don't know if you ever had the pleasure of meeting Keith Jaffe. Phenomenal guy. He's in the league with guys like Dan Blaylock and Jerry Hyman, and those are the guys. Keith has taken a number of different companies. Like if you ever get a chance, talk to Rick Fischel, and he just bought and sold Snapdrake. Just a down-to-earth guy, great guy. His son, he and his son are in the private equity side of the business now. And just when I say great guy, people that you can talk to. So we have all of these great brands in our portfolio. And what we're going to look at is we're going to do rationalization, because it's so competitive in the marketplace today.
Yep.
You look at all of our competitors from front of the house to the back of the house. Everyone's chasing that little circle of the same exact products. You take a look at that. That's not where the business is. The business needs new, cool, innovative products. So things that we've done really, really well, flatware, will stay in that channel. We're not going to remove ourselves from that channel. You look at storage and transportation, we're staying in that channel. All the other tchotchke stuff where there's difficult in manufacturing and difficult in distribution to receive a great margin, that business, we're gonna have to rationalize a little bit. So we're gonna come out of this with a strong brand name, great leadership, Because if you look at my team, my team has great passion. You know, you talk to our customer service people. Our customer service people have been in the group for 20, 23 years. Our customer service manager, Shannon, 23 years. We have legacy, but we have experience, and we also have passion to motivate, to move the brand along.
I love it. I think there's so much fun opportunity for you, and there's no one better to do it, Bryan. You're someone who likes to contribute. You like to give back. You like to care for, and one of the ways you do that is you've got a background in healthcare in some capacity, right? And helping people physically. I heard there's a story about a Del Frisco's in New York City during the International Hotel Motel Show. Tell us about how you like to contribute, some of your story, and tell us about that night.
Oh my God! If that night was with, oh my gosh, a family, the Balters in New York City, on the Bowery in New York City. Okay. I'm very, very close to them. Very, very close to Mr. Balter, who passed a few years ago. He was just an unbelievable gentleman. Just an unbelievable gentleman. Always took me under his wing. Always had time to sit and talk and listen. And he passed those reins down to Lori Balter, who I'm very, very close to. And oh my gosh, this is a funny story. A funny but crazy story. So we're at the New York show, and we're at Del Frisco's in New York City, and we have 15 people there. A guy by the name of Stu Levitt, and Mark Balter, Mrs. Balter, their husband and wives, and Barry Goldberg, and a couple of our reps, and Stuart's sitting next to us. And Stuart was a very aggressive, great salesman. You talk about customer service, Stuart always had it. And Stuart was just telling me his wife was sitting across from us. We were downstairs in a private dining room. And Arlene was sitting across from Stuart. And Stuart's just telling me, hey, listen, I just got checked out. I had my 70th checkup, and everything's going great. I'm thinking about taking a place down in Florida. So Arlene and I can, she was a school teacher for many, many years in Jersey. And, he was just so positive. And next thing you know, Eric Weiss is sitting directly across from me. Eric Weiss was our rep in New York City. Fantastic guy. Unbelievable guy. And he goes, oh my God, Stuart's blue. I look over at Stuart. Sure enough, he's blue. I'm like, oh, shit. Because I had that white shirt on that you save for a steakhouse, and I'm in an Italian restaurant. I get up. I pull him up. I'm trying to pull him up, and I get him off his chair, and I hit him a couple of times, and I hit him a couple more times. And the next thing you know, Del Frisco's Finest comes out on my white shirt. And so I push him. I put him down on the floor. And Stuart proceeds to yell at me, what the hell am I doing on the floor? Arlene is yelling at Stuart for not chewing his meat. I think I'm in a twilight zone. And next thing you hear is, and Mark Balter goes over on the corner, face first, into the pavement. I go, oh, shit. The hell's going on? So I write all stats on Stuart's shirt, napkin. Go over to Mark, rip open his shirt to start performing CPR. I grab Al Gore, Dave Al Gore who's in there. I said, hey, listen, I'm going to teach you CPR right now. I'm going to give it to you 15 seconds. So we're in there, and the next thing you know, Eric is getting the manager, and the manager comes down, the paramedics walking in. I write all the stats of the triage stats on the shirt, and the next thing you know, paramedic walks over to me. He goes, "All right, what's going on here? What the hell happened in this restaurant?" I said, "Choke." I give him all the assessments, and he goes, "You obviously know what you're doing." And I said, "Yep." And he goes, "Get the hell out of here unless you want all the paperwork." So I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I go upstairs, and if you ever been to Del Frisco's on 6th Avenue, all you see is Radio City Music Hall. A beautiful, beautiful location. But all the red lights, from the paramedic units to the ambulances to the fire, it looked like Christmas in November. So I had a couple of friends that were up there, and they're like, "What the hell happened downstairs?" I said, "I don't know. I wasn't downstairs." I took the yellow escalator up, and they're like, "Something happened downstairs. What happened?" I said, "I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't downstairs." I walked right out the restaurant, right home, changed my shirt, got a shower, and then I proceeded to get a call from Stuart saying that Arlene never got dessert. How great is that?
So good.
You want to hear a funny story behind that? So the next day, one of my closest guys, one of my closest assistants, his name's Jose. You've met Jose.
Yeah.
Jose is my brother. He's everything to me. And I had him go out and get Mark Bolter a hockey helmet that I survived the dinner with Bryan O'Rourke. And I had a NutriBullet bought for Stuart. You know, one of those.
Oh, the thing to chews all your food up or whatever.
And I got Darlene all the desserts.
Brian,
sent it to the house.
That's what you do, man. I love this. Okay, I don't know what. Do you know who this is? Can you tell? My favorite work story: Brian taking the trash out at my house during a dinner party. Not one person to this day believes it's true. This is Mr. Pete Anjanin, who's in the house. Pete, what's up, brother?
Oh, I love you, Pete. I love you, Elizabeth. Oh, that's great. Great people. Great. Pete's with Edward Don.
Heck yeah. Pete, we hope you're doing, buddy. Doing great. So you took the trash out at his house?
Oh yeah, he has unbelievable neighbors. He brings the team together at Edward Don, and I get an invite, and it's one of the greatest parties in the summertime, and he does it twice a year. Yeah. And this past time it was in the summertime, and it's just a great time to get together, not talk about work. Cliff was there the last time a couple of weeks ago. You know, sometimes you just gotta leave work at work, and get to know, and for Pete and Elizabeth to open up their house to colleagues and coworkers. That says it all. That says it all. Yeah. That he knows how to divide business and pleasure. Yep. And that's what life is all about. That's why he would do anything for people.
Isn't that the fun part? It's that we're able to go do what we do, and we hopefully sell a lot of stuff, and we accomplish great things for our organizations and our teams. But at the end of the day, there's the opportunity to really become friends, to not just be colleagues, but so many people that I've worked with who are colleagues are just simply friends at this point.
Yeah,
I feel, and this is an industry where that's possible because we do so much sharing of life around food, around drink, and what meals create, opportunities to connect in deeper ways or to resolve conflict differently. I feel like we're super fortunate to have those opportunities for relationships in this industry in particular.
So true. So true.
Brian, do you have any disciplines that you stick with? Anything that you're like, what, generally daily, I do these kind of things. They keep my mind in a good place, or they keep me, thinking positively. Anything like that in your world?
I make my bed every morning.
There you go.
If you ever met my mom, and a few people that have been on this call have met my mom and my dad. I grew up in a very, very strict Irish Catholic family. Okay. Exactly why I'm total opposite now. But now it was something that, if my mom didn't like the way we would make our bed, she'd pull it off. She'd pull, and we'd have to start all over. We couldn't go out on Saturday. We couldn't go. My brothers and sisters, if they were ever listening to this, they would die laughing. We wouldn't able to go out on Saturday to play with our friends or any sports until I had the bathroom. I had the bathrooms. We only had 2 bathrooms, and woodwork. Who cleans woodwork?
I don't know.
did. I had to clean it with um, bleach and water every Sunday morning, every Saturday morning. I had to clean. Oh yeah. Yeah. So disciplines. Yeah, I have a few. I make my bed. I always meditate in the morning. I always enjoy meditating to calm me down and prepare me for what's going to be ahead, or what's not, what I don't know what's going to be ahead. But I enjoy just staying in the moment for 15, 20 minutes before I start my day.
Yeah.
So those are probably my disciplines.
I love it. Do you have anything before you're going into a big meeting? Do you ever have those huge meetings that before you go into, is there anything you do like to pump you up or to get yourself in the right state of mind or anything? Or do you just kind of go in and say, you know what, we're going to do great things right now?
I don't, in the private equity side of the business, you don't know what's going to come at you at any point, because it could be a question on the financials. It could be a question on your expenses. It could be a question on your supply chain issue. It could be forecasting. It could be your PSYOP. It could be a number of different directives coming at you at all times. So I can't really get myself psyched up. Yeah. But what I try to do is I just try to stay to my routine of, all right, let's stick to the plan. And if it goes a little sideways, how do you bring it back to your plan? And not be disrespectful. They're looking at it for 15, if you're sitting in a board meeting, you could have about 7 to 15 people on the call just driving questions at you. And it's so funny because after a lot of our meetings, we debrief internally, and people say, how in the hell do you do that? How do you hold it together? And it's just, I think it was the time that I spent on at Solomon Brothers on Wall Street, when you would have 30 to 50 people flying at you at all times. But I don't get too confused in the moment. I just try to stay even keel, because I've gone through a lot of this. Working for a French company, and having so many different people involved in the business, I think that set me up to handle situations at the moment and don't get too ruffled by them. That's probably the best way I can describe it.
I love it. There's a lot of experience that goes into that. Some things you just have to learn. You just have to go through. You got to feel the fire, learn how you're going to handle it, how to neutralize it, and go. I love it. You've got a lot of good friends here. Robert, Bobby Thompson, thanks for your amazing support. Only and always the best. I love it. Todd Strader, always inspiring, Bryan. Have enjoyed your friendship and leadership for many years. Thank you,
Todd.
I love it. This, I think, was Kurt back when you were talking about, figuring out what parts of the business to stay in. And Bryan, seems to be a race to the bottom for everyone. And the issue is the quality of the products. I sell based on my relationships with manufacturing and quality. So wherever Bryan goes, I go. Oh, love that.
Thank you, Kurt. That is awesome.
That is so great. Okay, when you aren't running a major company, when you're not saving lives and changing shirts and sending dessert, what are you doing? What does Bryan do for fun? What are your hobbies, man? What refills you?
I don't play golf. I mean, I try to play golf. I can't seem to relax. If I'm on the golf course, I probably do more entertaining than I do golf. And I know like guys like, we try to go out there and play, but I can't. I'm I can definitely drive. I just don't have that golfing tie. What I really enjoy just doing is, I enjoy being around my kids and my family, and even my ex-wife Tracy. She's done a great job with our family. So I just really enjoy being around. But I work a lot. I work a lot. If I'm not at Oneida, I'm either traveling to a trade show or just trying to set up a dinner with people and just trying to network. So I don't have hobbies per se, because I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy the business. That's really my hobby.
It's fun. I don't feel like that a lot of people get to experience that in life, where the thing they love, the thing that they love pouring so much of their energy into is their work. And I think it's a real, uh-oh, dog's barking. Hold on. I think it's a real gift when you get to have an experience in life where in your free time outside of work or whatever you're doing, you're like, you know what? I just want to keep pouring in here. I want to keep developing this. This is what brings me life. This is what fills me up. And I think in leadership positions, I think a lot of people hope for that in their leaders. That, gosh, I hope this woman or this man that's leading my team, running this organization, I hope they want to give everything they have. Because when you're on a team where the leadership is kind of like, you know what, I'm going to call it a day at 5 every week or whatever it is, it's not as inspiring. And I think we want to be inspired by our leaders.
Yeah. As I said, I have a great team here that really, really cares about the business, really cares about the transformation of the business. They don't. It's kind of funny because I don't sleep a lot, so I send emails at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. We're on a call with a particular factory pretty early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock. I stopped texting a number of different people like Laura Bellino and Shannon, and because I wasn't paying attention that their phone goes off in their house, and I was, I didn't take that into consideration. And do you remember my assistant Pat Meredith?
Yes, I do.
She was my total lifeline. She retired. Oh my God, the things that, oh my God, that what I put Pat through for years. I mean, she was my assistant for a long time. And I would just text her or send her emails, and she said, "I'll break your fingers if you send me another email." So I just, now we I didn't force her to retire, but I still continue to do that because if I think of things when I'm decompressing, it's always in the middle of the night. So I still send those emails in the middle of the night to my team.
Well, I love it. And I mean, I used to do that too. And sometimes I would just wake up and people would get upset with me for sending emails at like 4 a.m. or whatever it was. But I'm always like, listen, you don't have to open your emails and turn off the notification on your phone, man. If you're reading it, that's not my bad. That's okay. During COVID, there were challenges in COVID and there were gifts in COVID, depending on how you look at it. What was something that was a challenge for you, something that was hard? And what was something that was amazing in COVID?
Ooh. Challenge. Not being able to embrace the changes that we needed to make immediately within the group. When I started in November, everything was fast. We had to make some significant changes on the fly. Then we had an acquisition that we were working on in the middle of it that I really wanted. In private equity, it fell apart. Okay. It fell apart, and it really, I mean, it's just a shot in your belly because it takes a lot of. I put everything into it. So when it fell apart, I was, I had to jump back and pivot really quick and say, okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to have to do rationalizations. We're going to have to train our people to keep them more engaged. So John Schroeder, Tim and Palmer and I developed a training program that we kept communication with our entire customer service and sales team. Every day we did a training program, and then we did on Fridays it was like a business review / prizes, and we really made it cool and interactive where people within the company were able to be educated, but more importantly, they can take home some of the things that we were doing. And we had guest speakers that were involved in it they were just amazing. Like Shannon Talon, she gave such unbelievable insight to what's going on, how the industry's pivoting, just the intel. And the employees all appreciated that. all appreciated because it was an investment. It was an investment in time. It was an investment in understanding and learning, and they were giving back. The difficulty, just seeing people get sick or hearing about people getting sick. Yeah. You know, I'm not trying to write a Hallmark card here, but you know, we lost a couple of people in our industry, and then you know, watching the people, you know, getting furloughed, and that was probably tough. People that put 25 to 20, 25, 30 years, even 5 years, you know, to get them furloughed. Yeah. And companies had to do it. I mean, it was unfortunate, but that probably stung. That definitely stung a great deal because you watched a lot of great people that put their everything into it, and you know, the industry was closed, and that was tough. So to see those two components of people losing the battles, and then people losing the battle on their employment, that was really, really tough.
Yeah, I agree, buddy. It's good to see people coming back. And for anyone watching who has opportunities, I've had 3 people reach out to me in the last week who are looking for regional positions. They're willing to travel. So if you've got something, reach out to me. We'll connect you with some people. This is our friend Shannon Talon. Bryan's passion is infectious. He makes everyone around him want to strive for excellence with his positive attitude, his creativity, and his energy. Love you, Bryan.
I love you too, Shannon.
Oh, Shannon, you're awesome. This is our buddy, Bryan Wood. COVID allowed us the opportunity to work together again. Without COVID, we would still be friendly competitors. For you and for you two in particular, which I stinking love. Okay, we've got a few more minutes before we wrap it up. But how do you, Bryan, you've had a lot of, from the outside looking in, you've experienced a lot of success. You've run a lot of cool companies. You've done a lot of really neat things. You've built some amazing relationships with people who are grateful for you and love you. How do you define success?
Happy, being really happy. Watching some of the people that I worked with throughout my years. You know, you look at a guy like Lee Spielman, who's now running Libby, the sales department. Watching him come into our company and to see where he's at today. I love saying that. I am so happy for him for all the hard work, tolerating me. Definitely tolerating me. I mean, I put that poor guy through hell and back, but I did it because I loved him. And you know, you look at guys like Terry Level, who came in as our finance manager. Now he's the CFO of a major corporation over in Europe. Etienne, who was my supply chain director, he's now CEO of Stossel Oberglass. Kurt Newman. Leanne Kelly. I mean, I worked with all of these great people. Look at what she's doing at American Metalcraft. She lit it on fire. She's lighting this whole industry on fire with you know, when I look at my success, I'm happy. I'm happy and I'm thankful. But then, you know, I look at it that, okay, maybe I did the right job. And I did the right thing for certain. I did the right thing for people, and that's. I know that's not probably a stereotypical answer, but my success is just being happy and showing it. You know, that's and I'm grateful for the people I just mentioned. You know, and I'm grateful for the people that I have around me. You know, you look at Laura Bellino, Al Gore. Tim Palmer, John Schroeder, my team, Shannon. You know, you look at. I'm blessed, but I'm just thankful. That's my success. I'm really, really thankful for all the support and guys like John Miles, and you know, you look at Steve Don, Steve Don and Jeff Weiland and Pete and Charlie Fraser. I can name a million. Tim Irie, who's leaving the distribution business, but we have great relationships with David, Mark Tell, and Danny. I mean, I can name a billion people that really have made me successful. Mark Fuchs. Oh God, I could name a hell of a lot more. So,
well, I think it's really cool, Bryan, when the way you define success, what I hear being happy is certainly, I don't think there's a human on the planet that doesn't ultimately isn't striving for that, whether they'll say it or not, but that your happiness is tied to the betterment of seeing the people around you thrive and win and grow and lead and all the things. I mean, you spent the last 3 minutes, 5 minutes talking about your success in 50 different other humans and what you're watching them do. And that's a really special thing. And it's no surprise people love following you. Shannon said, Bryan's passion is infectious. Enthusiasm is contagious, and we want to be around it. I love it. Are you, who is this? One of the Nils Hughes, one of the true bulldogs in our industry. Nils, what's up, brother? Who's this?
What's up, my man?
One of the best hours I've had since retirement. Someone wants to know if you are planning an NRA party.
You're damn right we are. Next year. We're back, baby.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So good.
Yeah. Bringing it on.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for NRA. It's been so long since I've been in Chicago, and it'll be great to see you guys there. The Flip Cup champion. Are you the Flip Cup champion, Bryan?
I wish. Oh my gosh. I owe that to Shelly. Shelly, that's Pete and Elizabeth's neighbor. They taught me how to flip cup, and Shelly was the one that actually showed me, their next door neighbor, how to do it.
So awesome. Okay, let me, you mentioned a lot of people. Here's how we're going to end. It's 6:59. Everyone, so glad you joined us. Bryan, I had a couple of people. I don't know everyone you know well, but a few people that I know are your friends and who you've worked with. And I like to end these by having your friends have an opportunity to say a couple words about what you've meant to them. If I get emotional, it's just what happens. Dave Turner from Tabletop Journal said, for what it's worth, Bryan O'Rourke is the perfect person to bring Oneida to new grounds once again. He is the perfect energy and the perfect spirit for this job. He is simply a get it done kind of guy and will absolutely do incredible things there.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you very, very much, Dave.
Bryan
Dave,
Wood.
by the way, I'm moving down by Dave. I'm moving down by Dave.
Dave likes to go for walks and runs after work. So maybe you guys can chat maybe you guys do some walks together. That'd be awesome.
Thank God you didn't say run. I definitely need to start running now.
I love it. Dave, I hope you're watching. Hope you're good, my friend. We will see you at NAFM. Bryan Wood. Bryan, I'm going to try to paraphrase this a little bit. We'll see if I can do it. Bryan O'Rourke is one of the most respected and admired executives in the U.S. food service industry. I've known Bryan for 25 years, and our careers have taken interesting paths together through ARC brands or being promoted to presidents of our firms, Cardinal and Brown Halco at the times. Through these various evolutions in our respective careers, we've remained close friends. We've enjoyed many memorable dinners and evenings in France and our annual trips to the ARC factory. As an interesting aside, Bryan elects to eat hamburgers or pizza in Paris, the gastronomy capital of the world.
Oh, my God.
In a strange twist of events years ago, we became competitors for a brief period of time when Bryan assumed the role of Crown Brands and I purchased Rabco. And now we are once again united and working together as Rabco was appointed the exclusive sales and distribution arm of Oneida Hospitality in Canada. Way to go, fellas. Way to make that happen. Bryan is a man of high integrity, a man of his word, and simply just a terrific and kind human being. He is held in high esteem by all people he comes into contact with, customers, fellow food service colleagues, suppliers, and his personnel. He's a dedicated family man and supports numerous causes inside and outside of his career responsibilities. I will never forget the confidence that he has bestowed on me and my organization when he appointed us as the Grabco as the exclusive Oneida distributor partner in Canada. This was big news for Canadian food service, codenamed the deal of the century. I'm privileged to call Bryan my friend and have the opportunity to work with him again and work towards a common goal.
Thank you so much, Bryan. A lot of love there.
Ken Bigger.
Oh my God.
Ken's my rep now, so I get to know Ken, who I freaking love. And he sent me a couple words about you, Bri. I first met Bryan at NAFM in 1991. His passion, his success, and his accomplishments throughout his 30 years in our industry are well known. However, Bryan's efforts in assisting others, which seems to be a theme tonight, by mentoring or employment throughout his entire career is the trait that I admire most about Bryan. He truly understands the concept of paying it forward. Bryan has been a friend for 3 decades and is the kind of friend with whom I would jump in a foxhole. Bryan, you've done some amazing things, buddy. You've touched a lot of people. You've affected a lot of lives. The stories are many. I only found a few, but we're going to read from one of our friends who you and I both know well, who's about to step away from the distribution side, Tim Irie.
Oh.
I've known Bryan now for more than 20 years. And from day one, he was engaged in my hospitality growth. He showed me firsthand what partnership meant. Success for both the supplier and for the dealer. He is one of the kindest and most gracious men I have ever known. And I am most proud to call him my friend. Before I say industry partner. Cheers, Bryan.
Oh, a lot of love, Tim, to you and Heather. You're amazing. Oh my God. I'm not supposed to tear up on these things.
It's okay. Bryan Wood did. I do every time. There's a lot of people. These are different conversations, which are fun, Bryan. It's okay. You know, part of the goal of these is that we model what a genuine conversation looks like without, us just faking our way through it, right? There's so many conversations that happen that people share where they're not being genuine. And these get to be a little bit different, and know that the industry is grateful for you. Know that I am grateful for you. David Maxwell. Thanks, guys. David, we are so glad you joined us. Who is this?
Thank you, David.
Rusty Gilmore. I wish Roy could hear it. He loved you dearly.
Roy Carpenter, rest his soul. One of the greatest people in the world. Thank you, Rusty. Roy was the owner of Diversified Ceramics.
Oh, got it. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Todd Strader, so awesome, wonderful people and spirits. Todd, you are one of them, my friend.
Thank you. Yes.
Food service power plant. Who's this? Pete Angenin, larger than life, but not bigger than you. Love it. Love it. Hey, friends, a couple things. First, hopefully you took those notes like I encourage you to. Bryan's story is amazing. The way he lives his life, the way he defines success is one of the most profound ways of the 40 or so guests we've had on. I might be most inspired by the way Bryan defines it. That's simply looking to pull others up, watching them succeed, putting other people in a position, engaging with others in a way so that their lives are better and they can make positive change in their life. That's what Bryan exemplifies. It's a part of why he's here tonight, because he's done that in my life and in my wife's life, in our family, in little small moments. So the other thing I would tell you is it doesn't have to be huge moments. At the beginning, when we started, I shared a couple moments where Bryan has affected my life in ways that I'll never forget. And they weren't things that took Bryan a week and a half to figure out to do. There were small moments where he simply was intentional and reached out. And he goes above and beyond in doing that. And as you care for friends in the industry, people who are still in it, maybe people who are looking to get back, take a couple seconds, text a friend. That's all it takes is a 30-second text. Maybe call to hear how they're doing. Send them a box of Tasty Cakes if they're from Philly. Whatever it takes, it's the simple moments. And if we could all define success in our lives by the people we lift up along the way, by that legacy, that road of people whose lives are better, it's a pretty awesome way to live, and a pretty great legacy that we leave. Everyone, remember, you are stronger than you realize. You are capable of way more than you give yourself credit for. If you ever need to connect, you can always reach out to me. We can connect with you, Bryan, if you have questions or whatever. See him at NAFM. If you are going to be at NAFM, don't forget, there is a food service power plant party, friends. Sometimes you like plan things and you come up with a budget and you figure out how much you have and then you decide to throw a party. Sometimes you friggin' throw a party because of the industry deserves it and then you figure out how you're going to pay for it after. So we're going to have about 200 industry friends at the food service power plant party. It's Wednesday night, 7 to 8:30 at the convention center. Go in the group in the announcements and there's a link to register. You got to RSVP so we know how much food to get. If you want to be a sponsor of it and tie your name to a positive, event that everyone's going to have fun at, reach out to me. We're still accepting sponsors. Love it. Can't wait to have you. Can't wait to see everybody down there. If you're struggling right now, just remember, your job is to keep moving. We've all had times in our life that were challenged, that our job was simply to keep moving forward, keep connecting with people, keep finding ways to grow and to learn and to say, this is not the end of my story. You friggin' keep going. Listen, Bryan and I send a lot of love to you. Have a great week. Bryan, man, I love you. I'm thankful for you. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Jason. Love you, buddy.